Hi, guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, there's a lot to talk about as we just got done watching the latest episode of The Walking Dead. And for those of you who've seen it, yes, it is the final episode of Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln's final episode. And before I go on, of course, please be warned this is going to be a spoiler-filled review. You do not want to watch or listen to this video if you have not seen this episode of The Walking Dead. This is a giant spoiler-filled review. So that being said, please keep watching and listening if you have seen this episode. If you haven't, turn this video off now and come back and watch it when you're caught up. So spoilers starting from here on out, starting now. Rick Grimes is gone, alive. Not the ending I was hoping for. And yes, I was audibly disappointed. I was watching it with my family earlier. And right as soon as I noticed Rick's body washed up on shore when Jadis was looking at all the walkers that were floating downriver, and I see Rick's body washed on shore, I was like, no! Like, I actually let out a, damn it! Like, I let out a very loud, damn it! You know, I was like, But I'll admit, I was disappointed at first, but very, very briefly. Because then I thought to myself, okay, well, what could they do with this? What's going to happen after this? Well, she gets him on the helicopter. They both fly off. Although, yeah, they're both gone, right? I feel like they're both gone because she got in that helicopter with him. So now we aren't going to see those two yet until the new Walking Dead made-for-TV spin-off movie hits our screens in a year or so, or maybe a couple years. I'm not sure, but basically Scott M. Gimple is one of the guests on Talking Dead tonight, right after the episode finished. And basically, he flat out confirmed that Andrew Lincoln will be returning as Rick Grimes for at least three Walking Dead-based movies that will be AMC-made original films. I don't know if they're ever gonna make it to theaters, but they're definitely gonna make it to TV. But they will be shot, written, and told as if on a film scope, as if on a movie scale. So that's pretty exciting. I'll admit, I was really hoping that Rick would die, and when I thought he had blown up from shooting the dynamite on the bridge, I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good death. Although I was very, very suspicious that we did not actually see him blow to bits, and I'm like, well, we didn't see him die. We didn't actually see him die. He's not dead yet. And sure enough, when he washed up off river, I was like, oh man. But you know what? I got over it, and I'm sure everybody else will too. I mean, I'm sure this is just going to piss off the fan base. Although the fan base has been angry before, and usually we talk about it for a while and then we move on. You know, that's just the way fans are. Not just for this show, but for any show, honestly. But Walking Dead is no exception. And if people stop watching after this, that's fine. I understand that. I could see why. Personally, I'm still going to keep watching because now I am super intrigued and super excited for what comes next, especially with that ending, with the introduction of the new characters and then the awesome Judith reveal. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Rick's hat, Michonne's sword. That is very awesome. And apparently a good couple of years have passed because she is now much older and she's capable of handling a weapon. And she's out in the woods, out on her own, so they trust her to be out there and be skilled and capable. So, you know, it's been a while. And so I'm excited about that. But let me first get back to the episode. So what I loved about this episode was that when he hallucinates and sees all of the three different dead characters, I felt like they were beautiful, touching little homages to the earlier seasons, to memorable, beloved characters. Maybe Shane not so much, but we loved Herschel and Sasha. Oh, man, and I love seeing Herschel, especially with the real Scott Wilson's passing. R.I.P. Scott Wilson. But I did like seeing him talk to Rick at least one last time, so that was really something. You know, I also loved how when Rick is on the bridge and he has this realization that he thought he was looking for his family, but his family was never really gone. They're all right there. Maggie, Carol, Jerry, Daryl, Rosita, Eugene, everybody who's still alive, that's his family. And I love the look on his face, this realization that, you know what, everybody's going to be just fine without me. They're going to be okay, and I can do this and feel good about it because I trust and love those guys, and everybody's going to be okay. And that's going based off of what Sasha told him in his hallucination, is how all these characters draw strength from each other by protecting and caring about one another, and everybody becomes better people and grows and strengthens as characters and as individual people. And I think that's why Rick looked so at peace and serene when he took out his Colt and fired at that stick of dynamite, blowing up the bridge and sending himself and the walkers into the water. He gave like this little kind of like a farewell nod to Daryl, and he also gave him a look like, hey, I got this. It's going to be okay. Relax. Because Daryl looks increasingly more and more concerned while everybody else rushes off to try to help Rick, but they're too late when he blows up the dynamite. But there's that moment where he looks at Daryl, and it's like they say goodbye without actually saying goodbye, and then Rick gives him like a peaceful, I love you, man, and don't worry, I've got this. Everything's going to be okay. That's the look that he gave him, and I really loved that. That gave me chills. I enjoyed that so much. And, of course, I was immediately disappointed with the next scene where we see him on the waterfront, but you know what? I got over it because the way this episode ended and what it set up has got me tremendously excited. I'm excited for the rest of Season 9. I'm excited to meet these new characters, and I'm excited for what else Scott M. Gimple and everybody else at AMC has got planned for this show, for Fear the Walking Dead, and for the 3 new feature-length films that they're planning to make for AMC, all of which are going to feature Rick in some capacity or another. So that is incredibly, incredibly exciting. And what I'm really happy and really grateful for is that I'm not livid and upset and disappointed like I thought I was going to be. I knew there was a good chance that Rick was going to survive this, and even though I prepared myself for that, I still started to feel a little disappointed, but in an instant, with the way the episode kept going after the helicopter took off, I'm like, you know what? I'm still hooked. I'm still intrigued. I'm glued to the screen. I want to see what's going to happen next. I got to keep watching. I am digging this. I am eating this up. And I hope you guys are too. And for those of you who can't stomach the show or just can't agree with the decisions that they've made, I respect that and I understand it. I won't hold it against you. I mean, we all have our interests, and if this show doesn't interest you anymore, then I'm sorry. But for those of you who are sticking around with me, I think there's a lot to look forward to. So, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you like it, love it, hate it? Did you want Rick to die? Did you want him to live? What do you think is going to happen in the rest of the season, and what could happen in the upcoming movies that Scott M. Gimple announced? Leave your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on further breaking news stories regarding The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and whatever shows and movies they've got planned based in this awesome universe. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget that The Walking Dead airs new episodes every Sunday night on AMC. Mr. Lincoln, if by a snowball's chance in hell you see this, as a fan, thank you so much for the past 9 years. I've been a fan since the pilot. I have loved watching you. You've done a phenomenal job. I can't wait to see what you're going to do next, and best of luck to you, sir. Thank you so much for giving us such a great character, and have a great rest of the night. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.